Hey guys, turn on your mics.
Come on up here, okay.
Thank you all.
Thanks, sir.
Yeah, congratulations. Okay, this is what I was referring to, Tommy, but I'll let you do it if you would like. Next up, and I'm hoping Miss Courtney Collins will help me a little bit here. She did try to. Courtney, I'm just going to let you pronounce it. What's the name?
All right. Her name's Lisa Maciel, and she couldn't be here tonight.
Okay, and we'll let you have her certificate, okay?
Well, anybody can do, say that.
Cool, sure. Thank you, Courtney.
Well, it's a pretty name, I'll say that much.
It is a very pretty name.
An easier one. Never come up.
You're doing great. Thank you.
Yeah, like a Smith.
Yeah, there you go. That's true. Or Tipton. Tipton's pretty easy. No, I tell you, that's one thing I love about.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Just a side comment. And we'll get back to this, but I have been told a lot by different school board members that they really appreciate our school board because this school board gets along and we have a good time and we don't make the meeting stuffy, and we shouldn't be. We should celebrate and have a good time with our friends and colleagues. Next up is Aurora Santos, which is a 9th grader at West Greene High School. Is she here? I don't see David. Is Aurora?
No, David couldn't make it tonight.
Is Aurora here? Courtney, I forgot to do this, would you point out which one was your student, which art was your student?
Sir?
Will you point out the art that your student had?
Right here, this one right here.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
With portraits.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right.
And now, who can show us, does anyone know where Miss Santos's art is?
The black and white right here.
Okay, all right, great. Do we have anyone here from West Greene that will take the certificate? Okay, we'll get it to her. Thank you. Next up is Cora Hawkins, Chuckett Oak High School, 9th grader. All right. Thank you. And Miss Hawkins, which one is yours? Oh, yes. Okay, great.
The which one?
Won't we, hey, do you all mind taking that down and turning it where the board can see, please? You mind? Thank you. This is hers. Great deal. Thank you.
Oh, it is a good picture.
It is a great pic. Thank you so much.
Looks like Tommy's head.
Next up is Macy Church, is Chuckett Oak Middle School 7th grader. Is she here? No? Okay. Next. Oh, thank you, yes. This one? Okay, thank you so much.
Also,
Okay. Next up is Regan Johnson, a Camp Creek 2nd grader. Miss Johnson here?
wow.
Whoa! Yay. Well, Miss Johnson, which one's yours?
Oscar.
Oh,
Hey,
that's awesome.
wonderful. That looks
Wow.
great. Thank you.
I thought that was Rick Tipton.
She did draw my portrait. Thank you. Miss John, we're gonna let you sit. We're gonna get your picture, whole picture. If you want to, just stand up here and we'll get your picture. Bring your certificate. There you go. Thank you. That was so good. Next up is Sophie Ricker, Chuckett Oak Elementary, 2nd grade.
Hey, Mr. Tipton?
Yes.
Excuse me, but could you tell me where Chuckett Oak Elementary is?
It's just Chucky Elementary.
Okay, I'm sorry. Chuckett Elementary. You better sit over and be good. My patience with you is about to wear thin.
We're about to vote him in as chairman tonight.
Yes, we're about to vote him in as
We're gonna
chairman,
do.
yes.
Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna fix him.
We're gonna fix his wagon. Macy Ann Dyer, McDonald Elementary, 5th grade. Macy, which one's yours, darling? Great, thank you. Yeah, it's pretty.
Which one, honey? Sunflower?
Sunflower.
Wow.
Next up is Taylor Rowe from South Greene Middle School, 8th grader, excuse me. Which one's yours, Ms. Rowe? The what, I'm sorry, oh, the quote right here. Okay, yeah, thank you. Oh, wow.
Good job, kid. Good job, girl.
Next up is Chase Lynn Dean, North Greene Middle School, 8th grader. Which one's yours?
It's the last right one right there.
It's a photograph of eggs, biscuits and gravy,
Sausage.
and sausage, sweetie,
Yes, ma'am.
and they made it out of tissue. So it's a 3D, it's a
Oh, yeah.
sculpture, but, so Miss Ricker took a picture of it for us.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That'll make Tommy hungry.
Yeah, me too.
Sounds like my wife's cooking. Tastes like tissue.
Oh, goodness.
I hope somebody taped that. Lily Wilkerson, West Greene Middle School, 8th grade. Lily? Oh, there she is. All right. Congratulations. Which one's yours?
The sauce portrait of the girl with the blue hair.
Oh, yeah, great. Thank you. Thank you. You got,
I see
you mind just getting that and turn around? She's gonna get it so we can all see it. You're good. She's gonna turn around so we can see it. There we go. Good deal. Yeah, looks awesome.
It's really good.
Absolutely. Okay, so if everybody will come to the front here and we'll get a portrait. Get a photo of the whole group.
You kids are great.
And while you're doing that, get in line. I think we ought to give them another round. That's great artwork. And I want to thank the students for making the boardroom look brighter with all this nice artwork. And you're right. I'll tell you what, we're gonna have to get some boys in there. The girls has whipped the boys this time.
Yeah.
It is all girls.
Anybody else?
Great job, young ladies.
Thank you.
Also, while we're talking about it, I just want to throw out a great thank you for all the hard work the art teachers do for the students and all your dedication. And let's give the art teachers a hand too. Okay, I'm about to make some of you very happy. Those that have got your awards, you do not have to stay for this, and you're more than welcome. And the art teachers, everybody that wants to leave can leave. But if you would like to stay and listen to this whole mess, you can. It's very entertaining sometimes.
I wish I could leave.
You
weren't talking about us, was
No.
Way to go, Reagan. You're picking your nose during break.
I gotta get my pause in and we're gonna pull.
You'll notice when it starts drooping down.
And the one about the
Let me know if you need more.
graduation requirements is just the top of it.
Rushing in the shower.
Which one was that? And I'll just go, well, no, we'll wait and do that when we get to all that. We probably do need to pull it, but just help me remember that, okay?
I will. I see something red. You'll know.
Oh, no.
4.605 is graduation requirement. The one right next to it.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you. You know, it is great to have the artwork back. It really is.
There's some talented people.
There is. Actually, there really is. I mean, I do like the ostrich, Tommy. I know you said that. It's get on me, but I do like the ostrich.
And that was a second grade.
Yeah.
Second
That's
grade.
amazing.
That's a second workshop.
Didn't ask for now.
Okay, next up,
That's the only one.
before we approve the agenda and the consent agenda and addendum, I'm going to ask that we go ahead and pull, strike out 4.213, family life education, adopt new policy. We're not quite ready to talk about that one, so please strike through that. That will not be part of the agenda. And so I want to do that before we vote on that. Okay, up now, I'm looking for a motion to approve amended agenda, including the consent agenda and addendum. Do I have a motion?
So move. I'll second.
I got, Mark and Nathan. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Next up, we're gonna have reports, hearings, and communications. Next up is Miss Hillary Buckner with GCEA.
Don't have too much to say this evening, I don't think, but, I know that you all this evening are gonna be voting on the COVID leave policy, so I was just going to speak to that. I know that we had discussions within the PECA team where we had requested 10 days be added back to those employees that were out because of COVID, and that I think compromise has been made for 8 days. And in speaking with our side of the PECA team, I think everybody understands and appreciates that, because it is logical, it does make sense, because it does take into account the weekend days. You know, so those 8 days, I think, are very wonderful, and it is going to be a positive thing for teachers, especially new teachers or those who have transferred in without any sick days, who are concerned about possibly exhausting all or a good portion of them after having received their vaccination. So that's really it. You know, I just wanted to say that speaking to our side of the PECA team, we are all very appreciative of the fact that that's being done this evening, sooner rather than later. And we definitely appreciate that, and I believe that's going to also serve as an incentive for those staff members possibly who have not received their vaccination to go ahead and we can begin that series if at all possible. So, yeah, that's all I have to say. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Any questions for Miss Hillary? Thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Next up, any board reports? Okay, any central reports? All right. Next up is Miss Kayla with the fiscal report. How are you today, Miss Kayla?
I'm good, sir, thank you.
You're welcome. Sorry, she is stiff as a board.
Finance Department initiated 111 POs in August. We issued 355 accounts payable checks. We completed 6 payrolls. We had 5 workers' comp claims. HR reports there have been 103 new hires since June 1st. Sales tax revenue for August was $677,054 for Fund 141. For Fund 177, it was $67,705. Both of these numbers are an increase of 15.4% from August of last year.
Here's here.
Kayla, I may make a comment. I don't know if you heard her. Of course, we did increase, if you remember when we did our budget, around 1.3 million in sales tax revenue. That's how we were able to do the 5% raise for all employees. I think it's important to know I'm watching that very closely, and I guess after 3 months, I will say I am very pleased. So continue to purchase through Amazon and all those places, and shop out in, of course, the Dollar General and those kind of things in the county. So I am pleased with what our sales tax revenue, and like I said, I was somewhat concerned when we did that, but I do believe that based on these 3 months, we should be okay, correct, Kayla?
Yes, sir.
So that's something we're watching very close.
And Ms. Kayla feels better about it too.
Every month, me and Mr. McLean, if we don't get our numbers as timely as we want or as quickly, we email Nathan, we call him, and he's helping us watch it as well.
Good job.
Yeah.
Any
Good
other
job.
questions for Ms. Crawford? Great job.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kay.
Thank you, darling.
All right, next up is Dr. Bill Ripley. Any questions for Dr. Ripley based on the information that was placed in the agenda?
Mr., or Dr. Ripley, can you tell me how many people we've hired this year?
Over 100.
I can answer that, and I've got that in my report.
And Kayla just said-
We've hired 108 new employees.
That's amazing, isn't it?
Of course, 25 of those are new positions through ESSER, that's temporary positions, such as aides in the classrooms, et cetera, but 108, that's normal year, we hire about 40, 30 to 40,
Wow.
108.
I thought that number was awful high.
Any further questions?
Go ahead.
Thank you, Dr. Ripley.
Just call me.
Next up is our favorite guy from the food service, Dustin. Go Dustin. You got good news for us, Dustin?
We'll see.
Cherry pie for everybody.
How'd you know?
Oh, good.
You're pretty close, actually.
Sugar-free, I'm sure.
So what's been going on? Compass Group, in accordance to the CDC guidelines, have reinstituted that all hourly associates working within the schools wear a mask when students are present and anytime social distance is not possible. Compass Group is also closely monitoring the recent mandates put in place and will make decisions based on that information if and when the mandates are enacted. We're seeing growth and participation increases across the district. Some of those can be as small as 10 or 20 students, and some of them up to 100. So we are seeing growth, which is always a good thing. Director McLean and I recently discussed supply chain issues and shortages that are taking place throughout the country. I would like to take a moment and just say we took necessary steps early and continue to be on the forefront with our distribution partners when it comes to potential shortages. And when I say that, I mean it's drastic. I'm sure I know some of y'all professionally have seen it all in your professional lives, but it's drastic and we're just not seeing it. Compass Group did a really good job of jumping on top of that. The biggest thing that we've seen is with our paper. We're not running out of anything, but maybe you go to visit a school and we're using black trays versus white trays. And the biggest thing that we did successfully is we moved our order days up 1 day in advance of our delivery dates. Gives us an extra day to source those products. So I know other companies out there are struggling. Compass Group's done a really good job of staying on the forefront of that. So
Yeah, and I may jump in on that
Sure.
too, Dustin. I know last week we were with other directors, and that was a hot topic among other school systems about, in reference to a shortage of supplies. So while I was listening, I did text Dustin, and, you know, nowhere near are we having the issues that other school systems are. And so that is a huge tribute to the decision the board's made and to Chartwell. So we're just not having those issues.
thank you.
Well, I think, yeah.
There's one more thing. Oh, never mind. I already said that. While we're seeing the need to adjust to the trends, we'll continue doing so. And then financially, you can see the roll up there. I'll kind of stand out of the way. But for August, a total surplus of $86,057.85. And if you'll scroll down to the bottom there, puts the total for the year with July's surplus at 88,483.58. That's not going to be sustainable. So
Right, yeah.
August was a great month, but we're going to see some of those remodels that we're taking over the summer. That'll probably hit September. So great, but don't expect that every month, please.
What? We can expect that every, Brian, did you hear that?
no red.
We'll keep it in the black. We'll keep it
Okay.
in the black. Just maybe not 88,000 in the black. All right.
I think Brian and I, we just don't want to see red, do we, Brian?
That's right, no
Yeah,
red.
See no
we'll keep it in
red.
the black, but just maybe not that much. But any questions?
Well, and I know he's not gonna do this, but I'm gonna do it. One, I wanna thank you and your group for doing the best you can with, I know you got a shortage of staff and everything, you all doing a great job, but also, I wanna toot the director's horn, he won't say anything, but he was out at Bayleton today, helping serve lunch because it was short staff. I think we owe both of you a hand on doing what you can to make sure our kids are fed.
I was going to close with that. Mr. McLean was out there in the trenches with us today, and he actually freed me up to go to another account. So,
Well, did he spill anything?
not while I was there.
I struggle handing out the carrots, so I
You did?
did drop a few carrots, and they let you know when you mess up.
He
So
came
it's
out.
pretty
And
easy.
he came out, and he said, "What are you doing here?" I said, "I'm working." He said, "Well, I'm here." And I said, "Well, I'm gonna go over here then." So,
Blueberries, too. They like blueberries.
yeah, they did like those blueberries. He was handing out
Okay.
blueberries. So.
Good deal, Dustin.
Justin, is there anything, I mean, I've heard about that, is there anything we can do? I mean, we can do for you as a board or something that, I know it's just hard, I guess, to find people, is that what you're
Well,
after?
I will, and with the COVID contract tracing and everything, that was the situation at Belton was, healthy people are going home, and I've got one out there who's been out for 16 of 20 days, who's not had a symptom yet. That's frustrating, and I spoke to Kim Phillips today, via phone, and making sure that we're following all those procedures and protocols, but, I've got 4 out there, and 2 of them are at home, and they're both healthy. I know we gotta do the right thing, but that's what we're seeing the most, and then on the hiring front, you're talking about how much hiring, I've hired 25, I have 10 more in the portal, but I'm waiting on background checks for them. I have 6 in the portal waiting on background checks. I can't get background checks because the background check office is short-staffed, and, it's just that domino effect, so.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you for doing a stand-up job to get everybody fed,
That's the important part, we're still feeding kids.
and I will brag, your staff out at South Greene Middle School did a bang-up job on Monday. Dave and I both were out there and ate lunch with them, and I think that, and I do want to encourage, if the board members get a chance to go to the cafeterias and eat, because those ladies were very excited that we were there eating with them, and it was a very good meal. So I think.
Well, I think probably one of the best salads in the county out there at North Greene Middle School out there last week.
Yeah, so,
Having them get their TV hooked up and.
Good
we
deal.
had- We had us a salad for lunch.
so your
It's
staff's
good.
doing a bang-up job.
Thank
Thank you for all you do.
Thanks, Dustin. Thank you.
Appreciate you. All right, next up is the director's report.
I'd like to start this director's report with a snippet from last year's September's director's report. This is just a reminder of what last year was like, if anyone has forgotten. Thought I'd refresh your memory a little.
About how last year?
Yeah, here's my report from last September. I do know that the board voted on Thursday, September the 3rd, to allow all students choosing bricks and mortar to come to school every day next Monday, the 28th, for schools that can practice social distancing. I reached out again to principals this week and actually met with principals from West Greene High School, South Greene High School, and Shade Oak High School. At this moment, all elementary and middle school principals feels as if they can do this. Starting Monday the 28th, these schools for students choosing bricks and mortar will be back on a regular schedule 5 days a week. For West Greene High School, South Greene High School, and Shade Oak High School, due to not being able to practice social distancing, they will remain on a AABB schedule Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday, Friday. For North Greene High School, they can practice social distancing, so those students choosing bricks and mortar will be attending every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. None of the high schools will be attending in person on Wednesdays. All high school students will be virtual on Wednesdays because high school students are teaching virtual and bricks and mortar at the same time. During the same class period, no other grade levels across the district are doing this. Wednesdays will give high school teachers time to plan due to teaching both pieces at the same time during the same class period. That's not for this year. I want to make sure to the media, that's what we did last year. How chaotic and crazy. After reading this, I'm reminded of how hard we all have worked over the last 14 to 15 months to provide in-person learning for our students. In reference to today's events, I'm still saddened that we're still dealing with COVID. I'm happy to report that we've seen the number of positive cases decline over the last couple of weeks. First, we had 44, 136, up to 179, 155, down to 77, and last week we had 68. Let's hope these numbers continue to drop. I would also like to inform the board that we've had 108 new hires since the start of school year. Many times people forget how large of an employer that we are, 108 new hires. Once again, I'm happy to announce that we're a level 5 district in reference to TVOS. We did see our achievement scores dip some for this past year. Certainly this is an area that we are addressing. After attending a TOS convention last week, I learned that there's not been a decision on how AMOs will be set for this school year, either based on 2018-19 data or 2021 data or the average, but we will soon find out. And that's going to be set by the State Board of Education. Last, I'd like to congratulate Philip Cutshall for winning the State of Tennessee Presidential Awards for Excellence in Math, and certainly good luck to him as they travel to Washington, D.C. Lastly, thanks for allowing me to serve the students of Greene County Schools.
Thank you, Dave. Does anyone have any questions or comments?
Come a long way since last year, hasn't it?
Yeah, that's super chaotic.
Yeah, this would have been the last board meeting that Clark attended. This is September a year ago. So we've had a lot of changes.
Yes, we have. Next up, any committee reports? All right, seeing no old business. Before we vote, I think on new business, on approving policies on first reading, we pulled the one, but also I think we have a correction on one of them that we like to, on policy 4.605, graduation requirements, update, content, and legal references.
It's just there where it says early graduation and it has the requirements. The word says 18, but in parentheses it's the number 17.
That was my fault.
Okay.
It was just changed to 17 about 2 weeks before I even looked at it. So that's for students who graduate after their junior year.
So that should just be corrected. So 17's right.
17 is correct.
Okay.
It was 18 out 17. That's my stupidity.
Okay, we'll be voting on the correction to that one. All right, do I have a motion to approve policies on their first reading?
So moved.
Nathan,
Second.
second by Minnie. Any further discussions or comments? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. All right, next up, approve procedures. Do I have a motion?
I'll make that.
Michelle? Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Brian. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye. All opposed, like sign. Approve MOU with TCAT. Do I have a motion?
So, I'll second.
Michelle? And Nathan? Any discussion? Anyone have any comments? All right, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Approve Title I funds budget, fiscal year 22 Amendment 1. They have a motion?
So moved.
Nathan and Minnie. Any comments or questions?
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Approve Title I neglected budget, fiscal year 22 Amendment 1. Have a motion?
So moved.
Brian? Have a second?
I'll second.
Michelle? All right, all in favor, any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Approve consolidated administration budget 010 fiscal year 22 amendment 1. Have a motion? Shell,
Second, Rick.
second by Nathan. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. All opposed, like sign. All right, approve COVID-19 leave for 2021-2022 school year. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Nathan, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mark. And we do have some discussion. Bill?
Yeah, let me say a thing or two about how this came to be. Hillary had already said that this originated from the PECA meeting we had, sometimes probably a couple of weeks ago then. And to be honest, I didn't know of such a thing transpiring in another district until the PECA meeting. It was brought to our attention that Nashville Metro had put language in place very similar to what's in front of you, and that Johnson City Schools was about to do the same. As we discussed it further, there was a consensus that grew. I personally felt like it might have the potential of passing the board, so that's how that originated. I will tell you that since we wrote this, had Mr. McCarty look over it from the legal standpoint, we've learned that 2 districts near us have since passed a very similar leave, but then they made it for all employees, not just vaccinated employees. So I want to let you all know that it originated, we were trying to emulate districts. Now we've got some variety taking place among districts, and I would just present to you that that's an option if that's, the will of the board. And I'll entertain any questions, but that's sort of the brief history of how this came to be.
Well, I think that on my part, and I need to make sure I do correctly on the rules of order, but I would like to make a motion to amend that to add just what Bill said, add all employees.
I did ask Mr. McCarty today if the board went that direction. He said, I would have no issue with that, and he's in fact shared another district that he knows that had done that. So from a legal standpoint, that wouldn't be a problem.
Yeah, but I would like to expand on that to, if the board members can see that, I'm asking that we amend the motion to remove number 2. And what I like for that to read in my amended motion is for the 2021-22 school year, the Greene County Board of Education will provide paid sick days to an employee who's able to provide medical diagnosis and related documentation indicating the staff member has tested positive for COVID-19. And then I would like to remove number 2. Of course, when we do that, if you go to the next sentence, factors need to be factor, because there's not factors up there anymore.
Or you could just remove factor altogether and just say the above, right?
Or we can do just the above. So my motion is to amend to remove number 2 and strike above factors and put based on the above.
Rick, let me add this too, if I could, and maybe it's here, and it's been there, I haven't read it again today. We did agree, and all the discussion was to retroactive that.
Yes.
Back to the beginning of the school year.
Yes.
So I just want to get that in the minutes, okay?
Yes.
Can I say something? I was watching the news the other night, and I thought it was pretty, it just hit me big. There were 72 people in the intensive care unit, and only 2 of those people had their shots. So the 70 people had not had their shots. That is, to me, is a sign that says, people, go get your shots. I don't think we can discriminate against the people that don't have their shots. But when you see it right here in our own community, I seen it on Channel 11 News. To me, it would be a good thing for our teachers to do maybe eliminate spreading it to a student or getting it from a student. That's, I mean, that, to me, those numbers, them odds are just so astronomical. I thought 72 people and 70 of them have not had their shots. And that, to me, is unbelievable. And only,
Today, according to the Greenville Sun, Tennessee is the highest in the nation for COVID.
what
And
is?
Greene County is the highest county in Tennessee.
Yes, I've seen that. That's scary. I got my booster. I thought, I only had one load. I'll probably end up dying. So they give me my booster shot, but I'm scared of it, people. I'm scared of it. I used to look down there where Brian cut shot. I don't know, Brian Wellhort's sitting, and see Clark Justice sitting there. He's no longer with us. And, just friend after friend after friend, but I'm not getting in that political thing. It just, I'm a creature, I was born in 1946, I went through school, they didn't ask if you wanted a shot. They come and give you polio, they come and give you, I don't know how many shots. I joined the military, they give you 14 shots at one time, at one day. And, next day you jumped out of bed and hit the floor. And I'm sure anybody here that's been in the military remembers that. But, I'm gonna get off I just hope everybody, I mean, the odds, I'm sorry I took up so much of the time, but I can't vote to not pay everybody after listening to my constituents.
Rick, I second that amendment.
Do you second the amendment?
Yes.
Okay. Let me make sure we're doing it right. It's all get our ducks in a row. So I'm asking to amend the original motion. Is that correct? That'll apply, or do we need to vote on the original motion and then vote on the amendment? No?
No,
All good?
you have to vote on the amendment.
Vote on the amendment. So that's my amendment, but I think for point of clarification, because I wanna make sure we get everything done correctly. Now, are we correct, the 8 days start when you test positive or when you have symptoms?
8 days you cover the first day you miss.
Got you. All right. Does that answer it?
Yep, that answered it.
That answer it? Okay then. All right. Yes, sir.
Clarify one thing.
Yeah, absolutely, please.
Please, make a note, this is not for quarantines.
That's right. This is not for quarantine.
Positive cases, vaccinated or unvaccinated, has nothing to do with quarantines.
That's right.
Okay. So let me, I ask that we amend the motion to strike number 2 and strike factors and just leave it based on the above. And I had a second by Nathan.
Yes.
Any further discussion? I know that's probably clear as mud.
You're just striking 2 and cleaning up the grammar around it.
That's correct.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing.
Yeah, because you'd have to strike both of the following and.
Yeah, all
Yeah.
the things that would
Yeah.
make sense
Yeah.
to make that happen. I understand.
Yeah, I'm sorry, both of the following will be stricken, I just didn't say that, but yes,
Yeah.
both so any further discussion? All right, state, I'm sorry, go ahead.
This is only good until June.
That's correct.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna state the motion again before we vote, so it's all good.
Sure.
I ask that we amend the motion to state the first paragraph for the 2021-22 school year, the Greene County Board of Education will provide paid sick days to an employee who's able to provide, we're gonna strike both of the following: medical diagnosis and related documentation indicating the staff member has tested positive for COVID-19. I ask that we strike number 2, and it says, if such COVID-19 sick leave is authorized based on the above, it will come with the following restrictions, and we'll leave that the same. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you, and I'm sorry to make that such a muddy mess. I'm sorry to the media too, did we get down exactly what, Cicely, did you understand that mud I slung there? Okay. Thank you. Trenda, are you good? Is the board secretary good?
Good.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
now do we need to vote on the original motion as amended?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we do. All right, in that, I have a motion made by Nathan and a second by Mark, and any discussion on it? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay.
Good catch.
Brian, thank you.
Actually, I have to thank my fellow back here.
Parliamentarian.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Teddy.
Brian, you should have took that credit.
I'll give you part of the credit, Brian.
I'm just the mouthpiece.
He's learning from Bud over there.
Yeah, he's learning from Bud Tucker. But all seriousness, thank you, Teddy. And thank you, Brian, for interrupting me. Okay, next up, approve Title II Funds Budget Fiscal Year 22 Amendment 1. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Nathan,
Second.
second by Michelle. Any discussion or further questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Approve Title V Funds Budget Fiscal Year 22 Amendment 1. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Brian,
Second.
second by Miss Minnie. Any discussion or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Approve surplus items and materials being sold on govdeals.com. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Nathan,
Second.
second by Brian. Any discussion?
Yeah, I wanna ask a question.
Yes, ma'am.
I noticed that the serving trays are on that list of things to be discarded. Should we discard them with this shortage of paper that?
Yeah,
or should
here's
we- or
the
should we
problem.
hold those maybe till, see how
This-
this blows over?
That's a good point, Minnie. I mean, you're doing an environmental thing. Here's the problem is, of course, when most of us were in school, you had trays, you had a dishwasher that could wash those things. The problem today, we don't have those dishwashers. They're all obsolete, many have been taken out. So I think that's kind of why we have 100% disposable trays. Plus that takes more manpower to wash those things.
Yeah.
Now, it's a good point. You know, I don't know what we would do if we couldn't get trays. So I don't know actually, you know, Dustin's not in here. He may be able to tell us. Ellen's not here tonight.
Teddy, do you mind? Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Teddy, you mind getting Dustin?
How many, if we've got several of those trays still around, if we happen to need them, I don't know. Of course, that would fall on his staff, so.
Minnie asked the question.
Should we go ahead and discard all of the trays that we have? Or should we keep them in case you do have trouble with paper products?
I don't foresee an issue
You
for
think it's gonna-
shortages. I mean, even if it was, that'd be probably a drop in the bucket. I don't think we have enough trays to, I mean, it might service one or two schools, but I know there was a pretty good sell-off a couple of years ago, on that the government deals that we sold them off or to other school districts. So I don't foresee a supply chain problem. I think we're far enough ahead of it where, I don't think it'd be a problem for you all to sell them off if you wanted to.
Dustin, there's some more trays on our agenda to dispose or sell on Gov Deals. And that was Minnie's question, if she felt like it'd be a good idea to try to keep those. And you can correct me, I got into utilization of dishwashers. You know, a lot of those are obsolete. A lot of those are no longer working to actually wash those things. Am I right? And
That's correct. Yeah, that's correct.
so we'd basically have to hand wash them if we did go back to using them.
I mean, that's just taking, it's a great thought, but it should be just taking such a step back to go back to those hard trays, for sure.
As long as you feel good about it.
Yeah,
As long
I
as
don't
you think
foresee,
you've got it covered.
yeah, I don't
have a
foresee, cause I
complaint.
mean, if, worst case scenario, if we ran out of those 5 compartment trays, we can go to 3 compartment trays, we can go to to-go trays. So I don't see that being an issue as far as supply chain goes.
Thank you, Dustin.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
All right, any further discussion, questions? All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, like sign. Approve policy 5.607, non-school employment. Do I have a motion? Mark,
Second.
and Minnie, second. Any discussion or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Approve AMC Ltd. MOU for 2021-2022. Do I have a motion?
Mr. Chairman,
Yeah.
as an officer of AMZ Limited, I need to recuse myself from the discussion and the vote.
Okay, thank you. Please let the record show that he, thank you, Brian.
I'll make a motion.
I have a motion by Nathan,
I'll second.
second by Michelle. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. And this, please, let's let the record show that Brian did not vote. Thank you. Approve Artisan MOU 2021-2022. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Brian, second by Michelle. And any discussion or comment? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Approve Sumiko, Sumirikyo.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
as a representative of Sumi Rico, I recuse myself.
Thank you, Mr. Mark. Please let the record show that Mr. Mark Roth. Them boys is on top of it today, aren't they?
They are.
I'll tell you that.
Y'all just go ahead, we're good.
I tell you, those three on those end is keeping the chairman straight, aren't they? I tell you, Teddy and Brian and Mark, 3 amigos. Approves Sumirikyo Memorandum of Understanding, or MOU, for 2021-2022. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Second by Brian. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign, and just let it be. And Dave, I know these three are similar, but I people may not remember, but this, I think the paper may not remember what this is, but I think it's a great program. If you don't mind to take just a second to tell us again what this program is and what it means to the school system.
Yeah, and Melinda can jump in a moment. We actually have a program down at the Howard McNeese Educational Center. We call it the Bridges to Success program. You qualify for that. It's kind of a work-based learning type program for kids. I think we have 11 students in that program right now, and basically this is an MOU that's been signed with 3 different companies. And I would, while I'm on this topic, I'm very proud. This was started prior to myself taking over. Melinda's been involved in it. Kudos to her. She may have started the program, but we also in that building have carpentry and masonry. I would love for, and of course, right now, TCAT has moved in, and I guess it's industrial electricity, right, Cindy? And then we've got HVAC going on, cosmetology. So we've gone from the one program, Bridges to Success, to hopefully by the end of the year, there'll be 6 programs in that facility, which is, I'm very excited about it. And if you know Woody Cayley, and that's a carpentry guy, and I went down there today and took some pictures, and they're building a 12-by-6 outside building, and he's standing up on the floor of that thing. And I mean, I get excited when I see kids working, driving nails, and then there's Greg on the other side with blocks, and then you got Jennifer Douthit on the other side with her Bridges program, and those kids are excited and building some things. I guess the parts for the bridges, was that through, Mark, through your company, or what company was that, Melinda? Help me with the.
All 3 of them are providing parts for the kids to do work.
I understand, but that day they were doing some things for a bridge, expanding, concrete expanding. I don't know.
I think that's the artisan product, isn't it?
So, they're excited. I mean, and I would please stop by and, You can pull around back if you wanna go see it, text me, and I'll make sure Jennifer knows you're coming, and she is excited about it. And you all have seen her presentation before, she's excited. So, Melinda, I'm sure I left a lot out of that program, but it's pretty exciting.
Well, I think it's just a great opportunity for the companies like Brian's and Mark's and I don't know if I got a representative for the other one here, but.
Do we have any update on the detailing? I think they still moving forward with that, or?
Yes, they got some of the materials yesterday, and we're waiting on our budget amendment tonight to get
Okay.
the power washer, so she's ready to go.
Okay, good,
So as
good.
soon as
So-
we get the budget approved tonight for the carryover money, and we get those ordered and paid for, she'll have everything she needs to get started.
So so then we can start with the three companies and.
The heat and air instructor for TCAT is the South Green grad Ron Lager.
Good
Yeah.
deal.
And let me add one while we're on that subject. Myself and Tim Shelton and Roger Wolf are supposed to meet next week. Hopefully, the Ag Department of West Greene is gonna start a public, dog grooming service down there. So that should be on the agenda for next month. So we're trying to do a lot of work-based learning to get kids
good.
involved, and certainly we're gonna try to work out the details and have certainly an MOU or some sort for the board in reference to the dog grooming, so.
Well, you know, and on that subject, I want to toot this board's horn. I mean, I think this board has been very dedicated in
Yes.
pushing to get this base learning and service and do that for our kids, because, you know, we all know that not everyone wants to go to college, and it's good to just give them something they can do when they,
Earn a living.
yeah, absolutely. All right. Approve IDA preschool and Part B budget amendment 1 carryover, 2021-2022. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Nathan,
Second.
second by Brian. Any questions or comments? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All approved, like sign. Approve food service grant resolution. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Brian,
Second.
second by Minnie. Any discussion or comments? All in favor say aye. All opposed, like sign. Okay, approve ARP IDA Part B funds / budget and ARP IDA preschool funds - budget. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Mark,
Second.
second by Nathan. You awake down there, Tommy?
It's anything now.
Any conversation? Any discussion or questions? That's a loaded, that get me in trouble. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Approve ESSER 1 CARES Act funds budget fiscal year 22 amended 1. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Brian,
I'll second.
second by Michelle. Any questions or comments? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. All right, next up, approve ESSER 2 funds budget fiscal year 22 amendment 1. Do I have a motion?
I'll make it.
Michelle,
Second.
second by Mark. Any comments or discussion, questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Approve general purpose fund 141 budget resolution to transfer from fund balance to federal fund 142. Have a motion?
I'll make it.
I'll second.
All right, Michelle. And Nathan, any comments or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Okay, approve out-of-state trips, motion,
So moved.
Brian,
Second.
second by Mark. Any comments, questions? This one you wanna talk about? Go ahead.
Out-of-state field trips, the second one, please note, Chuck Michaels for North Bend FFA put rental van on there. I think that trip will be made by van, maybe personal vehicles, or actually a bus. I'm just telling them, Cindy, of which one he might use, so,
Well.
yeah, to cover all that.
It's a fancy vehicle.
Do what?
Chuck usually goes to the airport and rents a fancy vehicle, where the other guys, we we pay for all of it, except Chuck's usually pays for his own. They rent like the big SUVs or minibuses.
I understand that, but the issue is you cannot rent a 15-passenger van. So he put rent, yeah, from what I understand. So I just want to clarify to the board, if you catch wind a school bus is going to Indianapolis, I want to make sure you're aware, you're approving that, but I didn't want to mislead you. He cannot take a 15-passenger van, that's illegal, so.
Actually, I don't know if they even insure.
You can take a school
can
bus,
take
yeah. He can, he's got his license out of state, but I don't know if you've talked to him or not, Daniel.
I have, and you can also, from what I understand, rent a true 12-passenger
Yes.
van, but it can't be a 15-passenger with the back row seats taken out.
Right,
Okay.
SUV's fine as well.
yeah. That's what, usually the other schools take 2 SUVs.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else? Any comments, questions? All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, like sign. Approve Save the Children in category budget amendment. Do I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Tommy.
He woke up there at the end.
Michelle must have pinched him. Okay, you got.
He's finishing strong.
He's finishing strong. All right, second by Minnie. All in favor, any discussion, questions, comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Now this, to our amendment budget, approve Hamlin County MOU for 2021-2022. Do I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Tommy,
Second.
second by Minnie. Any comments or discussions?
Payment's good.
I don't know who brought that up. That's Melinda, is it not?
Yes,
you can
Melinda.
comment on that.
What, MOU with Hamlin County?
Hamlin County, you may want to comment on that.
Yes, they basically had a, problem with their monitoring. Their gifted teacher was not certified.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
so they've asked if, one of our gifted teachers could consult with their teacher to basically do their resolution to get them off of the list
Got-
for their monitoring problem.
Got you.
And the 2 teachers know each other, they're friends, so they both, our teacher has agreed to do it, no charge, no payment or anything. She's willing to do the consultation with their teacher for the year.
Okay.
So that resolves their monitoring problem.
All right, great, thank you. All right, all in favor, say aye. All opposed, like sign. Okay, we're almost done. First up is election of 2021-2022 Board of Education officers. That is back around again. We have to do that tonight. So, first up is chairperson.
I'd like to nominate Rick Tipton for the chair.
I'll second that.
We don't need a third. Thank you, Mark. So, any other nominees? All right, can we just do that by
Acclamation.
acclamation? We think we're good?
You're good.
Well, Tommy, I didn't know you loved me that much, or you hate me. You
Well,
hate me that
That's what
much.
it was.
Yeah.
I was gonna jump in there and nominate him.
Yeah.
That's what it was. I was going to, you was too
Yeah.
fast.
You mean,
We was
No,
gonna vote you in.
the reason I nominated Rick, he gave me $100.
Oh, okay.
okay, yeah.
Put that in the paper.
Robert.
Oh, yeah. Okay, next up, have nominations for secretary, board secretary.
I'll nominate Nathan Brown.
Secretary. I can't do that. We got a good secretary.
No, Trenda.
Absolutely.
Bernie.
Trend by
Brenda Burney. Any
acclamation.
other nominations? I would do it by acclamation. All right, next up, nominations for vice chairman.
I
Chairman, I
nominate
nominate
Nathan
Nathan
Brown.
Brown.
I do too.
Okay,
Thank you, both.
I'll second it.
all right, so I guess we'll do that, and in August, we'll have to just do another one, won't we? See what I'm saying?
Yeah, 'cause
Yeah,
well, August, September.
September.
I mean, You don't vote, you know, when I.
Well,
go
we
on-
gotta do it again anyway in
Yeah,
September
well,
anyway.
yeah,
Yeah,
you don't
all right.
nothing there,
Any
you're
other,
good.
that's correct. I don't know, I've had a weak moment here. So any other nominations? All right, acclamation there. Okay.
I'll nominate Mark for dog catcher.
I recuse.
Well, we got a
Dog
place.
bather. You be the
Start
dog bather.
washing dogs, we could probably use
Bathe the dog.
Okay, now, hang on, guys, hang with me just a second here. So if I don't get this done, Trenda is gonna be mad at me. Brenda's gonna be mad at me. Tennessee LN representative. Who was that last year?
Used to be Clark.
Clark,
It was
okay.
Clark, but then I took over, right?
Mhm.
I nominate Michelle.
A second.
All right, Michelle, acclamation. TSBA Delegate Assembly may have 4 delegates other as alternates. And that brings up, gonna jump up on you. Announcements. The board quarterly timesheet is due now. You need to give that to Trenda. Now, the TSBA, which this is referring to, the TSBA annual convention is gonna be November the 18th through the 21st. I know she's already got everybody rooms, so if you're not going this year, you need to let her know by October the 21st. If you're not going, we need to do it by the 21st.
And
That's be a
also-
month ahead of time, right?
If
Yes.
you are taking a guest that plans on attending any of the events, I must register them, and it does cost extra.
Okay, did everybody hear what Trenda said? Okay, so, who's gonna be our delegates? I need 4, and then the rest of us will be, alternates.
I'll do it.
Michelle
I will.
and Minnie,
They do nothing.
I'll do it.
and Mark,
What are we doing?
Mark's like, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'll do it.
And
It wouldn't be
Teddy,
the first.
Teddy, put Teddy in there.
and Teddy.
Parliamentary.
No, I ain't doing nothing.
You need to do that one time.
No, I wish we had another M, cause we got Michelle, Minnie, and Mark.
Oh. We don't have one.
Yeah, I'll put me down.
McLean.
Rick.
McLean.
Okay, we've got that, and the rest of you are alternates if someone else cannot make it. All right, we're gonna pass out, the last thing we need to do is, here's the, committee assignments, and if we need to change it, you guys can let Trenda know, and she may or may not
What do you mean?
change it for you.
But remember the board committees, insurance policy.
Thank you.
And don't forget to get your sheet in today,
Yeah.
your time sheet. Trenda needs
Got
it.
another one?
Also, for the ones that's not many, our next regular board meeting will be October the 28th at 4:30 at the Greene Technology Center. I entertain have I missed anything, Ms. Trenda?
Nope, we're good.
We good?
Yeah.
Oh,
Ricky,
yes.
can I say something? William Broback is one of our great bus drivers. We're blessed to have great bus drivers in Greene County, as everyone knows. His wife just passed away from COVID on Monday night. So please keep him and his family in your thoughts and prayers. She didn't last long.
Absolutely.
61.
Mm.
And he worked up to the day that,
61.
I mean, he just loves the kids and he loves being around everybody.
Absolutely. Yeah, we will, Cindy. Thank you for, yes, David, you had something you wanted to say?
I'm good, I'm good. I'm good. I was gonna talk a little bit about our meeting next month, but, I can share, since I've opened up a can of worms, I'll just go ahead and share, but, there'll be discussion next month at our joint board about an addition down at the, Center for Technology in the welding, area. I do believe there's work being done to request from Mr. Morrison and W.T. Daniels to help fund that program with ESSER funds. So just gonna prepare you that will be discussed next month at our joint board.
Okay, so have we heard back from Mayor Daniels or Mayor Morrison?
I think think that's of course,
Okay.
Mr. Starnes is
Yeah.
kinda leading that, and I think
Okay.
they will be there to
Gotcha.
have that discussion with the full board. of
Okay.
how that's
Oh
gonna
boy,
be.
I get to be chairperson. I'm just so excited. Okay, anything else? All right, then. This meeting's-
I make a motion that we adjourn.
Thank you,
Sir.
Tommy. This meeting is adjourned.
Boy, he listens to me, don't he? He knows. I had to.
You know, he stopped.
And Leanna knows in,
All right, sister, what I mess up?